Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is the last reading I'm going to do for tonight. But I just wanted to look at that whole situation with Wendy Williams and Method Man because that one took some people for a surprise. I had heard rumors that they had hooked up in the past or had some sort of thing going on, and that was why she was, privy to what was going on with his wife when she was sick. Like, it was kind of just repeating pillow talk stuff, but I don't know, whether or not that was true. We'll find out, I guess. But anyways, Spirit, please join us and answer any questions that we have in regards to Miss Wendy Williams Hunter and the rapper known as Method Man. Oh, did they have a fling in the past? Is she telling the truth? What happened? Thank you, Spirit, for joining us and answering any questions that we have in regards to the rapper known as Method Man, as well as Wendy Williams Hunter. We're asking only with the purpose and intention of clarity and understanding, not with any bad intent. Thank you, Spirit, for joining us. Please bless and protect all who we ask about in this reading, as well as all who participate and all who watch. Thank you, Spirit, for joining us. Amen. So let's see, Spirit, what really went down between these two? Thank you. And that was the thing too. She didn't give any context as to, like, when did this happen? Was he a married man back then? Was he cheating on his wife? Was that before he got with his wife? Like, what? They actually had more of a connection than she's even let on. It's not that they were like hooking up for a long ass time after that. I do feel that it was more one night standish energy, but there had been things that had happened previously leading up to that, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't the first or the last time that they ever spent time together or had conversations. Because there's this Palace of Cups and Page of Cups. There actually was like a lot of flirting back and forth. A lot of actually like talking. Like, this feels like phone calls. So whether or not that means like, oh, he left to go on the road and they were still keeping in touch or whatever, there was something going on with that. And then because we have the Fool card and the Ten of Wands, Spirit is saying that this represents like the music business, entertainment business. He was keeping in touch with her actually and feeding her information. Not like bad information. Like, he wasn't like, oh my God, so guess what I saw so-and-so doing. It was more like, hey, like, if you want to say anything, we about to drop an album next week. Like, more like things that would come to her benefit. And let people know stuff about them. Like, oh, it's a mutually beneficial thing. You got the hot scoop, that the Wu-Tang Clan's about to be out here doing, a show or dropping music or doing something that other people aren't aware of yet. You got the inside, and that was from him. Because again, it's like the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Coins. It's like a business friendship that was going on. Again, they definitely hooked up. Of course, now because the truth is being told, both he and his wife are trying to separate themselves from this story. And with this Judgment and this Nine of Swords here, it's talking about rehashing old wounds. Like, we already had to deal with all this cheating stuff. Maybe I didn't know about Wendy, or we dealt with that like a long ass time ago, but it's like, why do people need to know that? Like, I didn't, like, you know, so it's just, and it is about the, you know, like, you don't care about your marriage anymore, but I still care about mine. Like, that's the energy that I keep feeling behind it. Because the Judgment and the Nine of Swords here, it's like, okay, you know, like, are you just trying to cause more pain to people? That's what they think. Like, it's really funny because it's like, after Wendy spoke about different things involving him, he felt like she didn't have any loyalty to him. So he cut her off. And it felt like, I have to do this to protect myself, to protect others, because you talk too much. And then, you know, by him cutting things off, and like I said, at that point, it was more of a working relationship, working friendship. It wasn't, you know, it was like, I mean, there's a lot of people out there, let's not even lie, that like hooked up with their like coworker that they get along with really well after a Christmas party. But do you really want to bang them down every time you see them after that? No, you're like, that was the fun one-time thing and we're good. You know, probably the only time Susan from the coffee room ever got laid in the last 20 years too. I'm just kidding. We don't like that bitch Susan in the coffee room. So if you've been around here for a while, you know the Susan thing. And if you are new here, hello. Now's a great time to subscribe, like, and comment, and book a reading. Yeah, see, oh yeah, he definitely did cheat on his wife with Wendy. That makes sense. His wife also feels like Wendy, like, might be jealous. Like, she really at times thinks Wendy wants to still, like, Wendy wanted to be with Meth, or she still does, or she's better over, like, things not turning out, like, a certain way. Like, oh, like she kind of thinks sometimes that Wendy, it's like, you couldn't get that man, and then the man that you did get was cheating on you, and so what, you're trying to punish me, you're always trying to come after me, you're always trying to ruin my relationship, why, move on. Like, that's how she feels. Like, you have done so much to me and tried to ruin my relationship so many times over the years, move on. Because it really does, they feel like they have to constantly defend themselves against her, which, I mean, can you blame them? Honestly, I love Wendy Williams. Like, don't get me wrong, I love me some Wendy, but she's done some shit to people over the years. She's talked a lot, you know? She might feel justified in what she's done in the past, but not everybody is going to. And see, again, it's like, it's just the cards, you know, 10 of Swords and 2 of Cups and 3 of Swords, and then 5 of Wands. Like, oh, you're coming around trying to, you know, beat up on other people after, it's like almost like, because there's the Wheel card in front of it too. Her and her husband, you know, Method's wife, and I can't remember what her name is right now, they literally like kind of thought, oh, okay, well, Wendy tried to ruin our marriage and so many other marriages, you know, like, that's her karma, like what happened with her and Kev. But now they see it as, you want to go hurt other people's situations and bring up things from the past as a way of hurting others again. Because they just think that every time Wendy does anything towards them, or brings them up, or says anything, or there's any sort of interaction that has to do between them and Wendy, they literally think that, you know, it's like she's doing this on purpose to deflect, or to make herself feel better, to punish us even more. It's crazy how that went from, we're friends and we hooked up, to we're mortal enemies now. But that's life, right? Alrighty. So let's see. Spirit, is there any other messages that we need to know in regards to Miss Wendy Williams? Thank you, Spirit, for joining us, answering any questions that we have in regards to Wendy Williams and Method Man. Thank you. So it did happen. We're not denying that. We're just saying, you know, ever since that went down. I don't think I don't know. I mean, maybe someday, because you never want to say never, but Wendy's like, yeah, whatever. Let's just get over it. You know, like when it's like, oh, like if say that they were to sit down and speak. But that happened 25 years ago. Why are you upset about that? Like, come on, we've all grown up then. We've had so many things that have happened. Why are you still mad about that? Whereas, you know, Method Man and his wife are like, but you're selling a movie and you're still talking about it. Like, hello, you know, like, I mean, you get both sides. She's telling her truth. She's telling her story about her life. And yes, it did happen a long time ago, but it's still Wendy's story of something that happened to her to tell. But then on the other hand, it is like, you know, should you really be sharing stories about hooking up with somebody when they're married to somebody else now? And especially if they're still with that person that they messed around with you behind? Not exactly. So, expect that we're going to hear like one or two more things surrounding this situation from Method Man and his wife's side, especially if Wendy does address this anymore, even if it is, you know, somebody saying in an interview, hey, you know, we heard they're upset with you for speaking out, and she's just like, oh, well, you know, we're not going to talk about that anymore or something. Like, even if it's that slightest little bit of thing, it's going to set his wife off to go, like, open her mouth and talk again. And she will literally rip her a new asshole. Like, she was more, like, fed up, like, in her last statement. It was just like, oh, can you please finally, like, stop talking about us? Like, why are you still talking about us? The next time, it will not be that way. It will literally be this effing babe going off. I keep feeling like calling into some radio show or podcast or something and just letting it rip. That she's gonna try to call Wendy a liar. So she knows that it happened. I mean, you know, the wife and Method Man, they definitely know it happened. It's just, you know, to her, it's like, okay, it happened, but does everybody in the world need to know? Not exactly. I don't want everybody to know. So that's sort of where they are. So anyways, guys, I am going to let you go. I love you all so very much. And if you wanted to book your own personal private reading with me, all my information is in the description box below. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and then follow us on Station Head, because Psychic Carlene and I are on there every Saturday doing the readings that we cannot talk about on these YouTube streets because, you know, they be trying to censor us. So anyways, guys, I will see you all later. I love you.